And so we're introduced with the map. Well, sort of. We can see the map, but we still haven't gotten to gameplay yet. Koji, look! Whoa, what? Those aren't Jovian lizards. I've never seen humanoid machines like those before. Just when I thought we could shoot it down and go down clean and go for the capture. These metallic abortions decide to show up. How awkward. It appears they're reacting to our military maneuvers, my lord. What do you advise we do, Lord Templar? It'd be all too easy to dispose of them, but if we don't hurry, the military will arrive. We lack permission to reveal ourselves. Let's fall back for now. But Night Lord told us to destroy it if we were unable to catch it. Those controlling are nothing more than test personnel who fled from captivity. They could move it, certainly. But there's no way they're up for a battle. Those unmanned weapons are enough. Or more than enough. Leave it be. But my lord. Quiet. We're in no position to cross swords with them. Is that clear? Yes, my lord. Forgive me. Besides, I'm worried about Alvan. I didn't think he'd be late, but that traitorous war hero is the same knight that used to be his master, after all. Plus, both units are originals. Even if Alvan prevails, the loss of his machine would devastate us. My own unit is a prototype, and assuring its safety is far more important than going after those girls. All the more reason to leave. Just leave, honestly. Let's go. That last one disappeared weird. They disappeared? No way. The hell was that? I need to think of a voice for Muka. I have no idea how to pronounce his name either. Dad told me the plant was developing some new humanoid weapons, but... I wonder if those were from Zaft then. Zaft is also an acronym. Don't know what it stands for, but it's still an acronym. But didn't those plant dudes say they only had troops for self-defense? Why would they show up here? No idea. Forget about them. Those Jovian lizards are the real problem now. Damn. There's no time to get Mazinger. I'll have to take them on in the Pilder. Huh? But the army won't make it in time to... The Pilder? How did... Koji, can you hear me? It seems we made it in time. We were in the middle of searching for the tulip when we caught wind of what was happening over here. We brought Mazinger Zed and Aphrodite A to help out. Loru? You were the one flying in the Pilder? That's right, Koji. Nice timing, huh? Yeah, right in the nick of time. Great job, Loru. Come on, Koji. You've got a lot to do. Get going. Sakaya is getting a little jealous. If you couldn't pick up on it. Sakaya likes Koji. Koji, I guess, likes Sakaya. Sayak. You know what I mean. Sayaka. I'm not going to pronounce her name properly. Get over it. But yeah, she's a little bit jealous. I'll leave the rest to you, Loru. Alright, let's go, Powder. Take off. Alright, Sayaka. Let's be on our way, too. Okay. Boss, why do I get the feeling I completely forgot about us? Damn it. I'm not gonna let Kabuto get all the attention from the ladies. Muka? I'm gonna pronounce that Muka because it sounds better than Mucha. They both sound stupid. Muka, we'll be taking Boss Boro out for some smashing. Duh, but boss, we won't be able to make it back in time. Quit complaining and move! Alright, you Jovian losers. Kochi Kabuto and Mazinger Zed will take you on. Come and get some. Victory conditions. All enemies annihilated. Defeat conditions. Allied units shot down. Okay, so we finally entered the main game screen. You can use the control pad to move around, although if you're playing this game, you're probably going to be playing an emulator version of the game, in which case you'd have your own controls. But regardless, use the control pad to move around. A button opens up this little side menu, which I'll get to later. If you have this cursor where the side menu would appear, it appears on the other side of the screen instead. The D-pad to move around. A brings up this. B brings up the terrain information. B over top of a unit gives up a quick summary, which is not to be confused with the actual unit's status summary. In order to get the terrain details of the tile that's beneath another unit, you can hit the left or right triggers in order to do that, and go left or right triggers again from here to act to the status screen. You can also see basic stats here, like the level, the S attack. ATT is short for support attack, which is a special pilot ability. Koji does not have it, which is why he has 0 of 0 left remaining. support attack's a bit weird, because support attack ability only activates if the unit that has it hasn't moved yet. Like, hasn't done anything yet. So, I'm not sure you'll see me using it often, but you will probably see it, like, you'll see it at least, like, several times by the end of the game. I'm just not so sure I'll be using it, like, very often. Regardless, you can also see DEF. Similarly, that's short for Support Defense. Support Defense is an ability that only triggers on your opponent's turn, and it's sort of like Support Attack, except that it's the opposite. So instead of... the way Support Attack works, I'll get into this right now, because we'll be getting close to it soon enough, is that if a unit that has Support Attack is adjacent to another unit, and said other unit is attacking, and the unit with Support Attack, normally the you will attack an enemy unit, and the enemy unit will counterattack. Well, if you're adjacent to a unit with Support Attack that hasn't done anything yet, so it can still move, and it's within range from where it's currently positioned, after the regular battle flow, you'll get the Support Attack unit to enable performance attack, which you can select from cover. Support Defense works similarly. On your opponent's turn, if one of your units is attacked and the unit that's being attacked is adjacent to a unit with Support Defense, you can have the unit with Support Defense take the damage for you, or for the unit that's being attacked. That Support Defense triggers more often than I'd like it to, because quite often I'll have like a tank like Mazinger Zed, you know, tank the damage, and then I won't notice that I have Support Defense, and the Support Defense will, for whatever reason, it always loves to select the units with the worst defense for Support Defense, which is like, yes, have this fragile, pathetic, low defensive unit take damage for my really tanky, high health unit. Great plan, game. Spirit, and you can also see Spirit with a large empty box. That Spirit, or Spirit commands, to be specific, are there. You can think of them as sort of the spells of this game. You can also see the SP just below that to the right. That is the Spirit, that stands for Spirit Points. You use Spirit Points to use Spirit commands. You see the COND, which is condition. Those indicate debuffs and maybe also buffs. I'm not sure. I think it's probably just debuffs, because I can't think of any situations where your stats would be buffed. At least in this game. Next level, that's obviously the experience you need to get to the next level. Kills. That's how many kills this unit has. Get 50 kills, you get your unit will gain the ace status. And I think you can also get double ace status if you kill 100 enemies. Below that, you can see the unit that the pilot's currently in. The pilot is at the very top there, and his portrait's there, right next to that. The unit he's in is Mazinger Zed. That usually won't change, although there are a few occasions where I prefer certain pilots to other pilots. Then you'll see Mazinger Zed's health and energy, its mobility, and its armor. And then I think something else below that. I don't know what it displays, but it does definitely displays something. Just don't know what it is. And then directly to the right of Support Attack and Support Defense, both those, you see this box, and you'll see that star thing and then that sword. That star badge symbol thing means that it's a favorite. That unit is a favorite unit, because this is from Asin Kaiser. And that sword means that Koji has access to an ability called Countercut. I'll get into all the abilities and stuff in a second. From this window, you see Move, which obviously lets you move. You have Spirit, which lets you use your Spirit commands. At level 1, well, level 2 actually, your unit will probably only know one of them. It sort of varies. The Spirit commands, usually, there are no two characters in this game, to my knowledge, have the same set of Spirit commands. Although that's understandable, as there are quite a few of them. But regardless of this, the Spirit commands that a particular character will get usually, relates to, or, rather, usually follows... It's usually based on the character's personality. So Koji here is quite obviously the sort of the brash, runs headfirst into danger, gutsy kind of character, and obviously he has guts, which is really helpful, which is really useful for this particular type of character, because it fully restores his HP. Really helpful. Unfortunately, Koji's the current amount of SP that Koji has does not permit us to use this more than once, but helpful nonetheless, and as we get further in the game, Koji will be able to use this fairly often, although there is another ability, or there's another spirit command that I love that costs about the same. My general word of advice, use these as little, use these only when you need to. Like, use these as little as possible, because fairly often, and this game will throw enemy reinforcements at you, or some bullshit mechanic where a boss will say, heal to full at you, or you'll have bosses, and then enemy reinforcements with more bosses. So, I would really save your spirit commands, unless you absolutely have to use them. Normally you'd also have an attack box here, but because Koji's not in range to attack, he doesn't have it. And you have status. You can see the unit summary page here, which, it tells you the terrain. Whoops. You can see down, so you see the unit's health and stuff. You see the type of unit it is. Koji's unit is a land unit, which means, well, it's specifically designed for land. It's best on land. Of course, it's also pretty good in space as well, because reasons. However, as you can also see, it's sort of crappy in water, which means it can't move very far in water. And it also means that its weapons probably aren't suited for aren't very good in water either. That's not always the case. But as you can see, yeah, some of its weapons are pretty okay, or are okay in water. But the terrain effects there for a unit, I talked about them for weapons. For weapons, it indicates how well they perform, so how much damage is produced. If it's A, I believe none is. Basically, if it's the lower that number is, the less damage your weapon will deal in that terrain. In the case of a unit, it indicates how well it moves in that terrain. So, the higher it is, the less the terrain will affect that unit. And a dash means that unit cannot enter that terrain. So, in other words, Mazinger Z can't fly, is basically what you can take out of that. You can see whoops, I hit the wrong button. See, if you hit down from the units there, you can see special abilities and parts. Parts are stuff you can equip to max to give them special abilities and other such things. Right now, Mazinger Z has the ability Mezin Power. You go to pilot, you can see his pilot stats. I'm not going to narrate them for you, because if you really care, you'll just pause the video and look at them. Units start out with 100 will, by the way, just so you know. Bonus points. Every level you get a bonus point. What's sort of cool about this game is that when units level off screen or before you get them, they keep the points you would have gotten had you, say, started with them from the very beginning of the game and leveled them up from level 1 to that point. Of course, you do not get any bonus points for being level 1. Spirit points and the spirit stuff. You can see there you have modules. Modules are like parts, except for pilots and not mechs. They'll give you your pilot special abilities and also alter the pilot stats, like, say, increase its total number of spirit points or such. These, I think, are a bit rarer than parts, but whatever. Potential is sort of your generic ability that pretty much every pilot will have. Not all pilots have it, but pretty much every pilot will. The higher the level it is, the better your pilot performs. I'll get into that in a sec. Now, phase N ends the phase, obviously, or ends your turn. Unit list shows you a quick list of all your units. You can sort it by level, the health of their unit they're in. Sort it by their current health, their current energy, their kill number, their current will, and you're back to level. And if you select this unit, your cursor will be brought to that unit. Next we have mission objectives, in case you forgot or accidentally skipped it. Change background music. You can reassign whatever background music you want. Sorry about that. and assign whatever background music you want to any unit, provided that you have a unit that you've heard that on before. See, we've only heard 2 songs right now. We in addition to well, you don't need to have heard it before, but you need a unit with that background music on it. So we've heard this music because this is the title screen music. It's called Judgment Justice. And then Fire Wards, which is the general theme for all of the units from Mazen Kaiser. Like, there's sort of an exception there, but for the most part, the common units gain Fire Wars. So you can change them. I'm going to stay away from this, at least in the first playthrough. If you guys really want to make any suggestions for any songs I might want to change to, go ahead. Settings are settings. I'm not going to mess around with these. I don't like to mess around with settings because I don't like to screw things up. Save is save. You can also save by hitting start. It brings up the quick save. Quick saves are different from regular saves in that when you quick save, you have 1 quick save slot as opposed to like the 12 regular save slots. Hit select brings up this map. You can move your cursor on the map, and when you close the map, your cursor will stay where that on that square. Your cursor moves at the same speed in both locations, but it's nice to move your cursor around and you can see stuff, but yeah. And finally, we have reference. Reference is really handy, especially if this is your first Super Robot Wars game. It has a list of all the spirit commands the units on the field have, or you also have a reference menu in the intermissions, and in the intermissions, it's all the pilots you have, because, you know, there is no battle in the intermissions, so it'll be all your pilots, but here, it'll just be the pilots that are in battle. Currently, all of our pilots happen to be in battle, because we only have 1 pilot, but as we gain more, we'll eventually run to the point at which we have to start picking favorites. And hello, telephone. Okay. Hello there, just a message I'd like to give to all of you telemarketers out in the audience. Fuck you. Stop calling me in the middle of recordings. Don't you know? Don't you know when I record when I want. You have a list of all the spirit commands. You also have a list of all special skills. Special skills are effectively the special abilities except for pilots. Abilities are for mechs. As you can see, there's a lot more abilities than there are special skills. But a lot more special skills tend to be a lot more contained, so a lot of pilots will have the same special skills, whereas abilities tend to be a bit unit specific. Or it's really series specific. So as you might imagine, Mazen Power is exclusive to Mazinger Z, or to Mazen Kaiser. Anyway, let's begin into the actual games. Let's move Koji. Boop. Boop. That first boop is going to confuse me because it's not in sync at all. Anyway, we only have 1 unit, so we've moved our only unit. So guess we're gonna have to end our turn now. Oh yeah, left and right triggers will cycle through all your available units. So all the units you haven't moved yet. If you've moved all of your units, you will instead cycle through all of your units. So a good way to figure out is if you've moved all your units is if you try to cycle through and it cycles through a unit you've moved already. So yeah. Anyway, let's end our first phase. The first enemy phase, or turn 1 enemy phase, is also going to be fairly anticlimactic because they can't move close enough to attack us either. But anyway, Sayaka has appeared. So I won't let you lizards get away with this either. Koji, there are still some people on the way to the shelter. Don't let the enemy get near the school. No, that isn't an objective, but sometimes it will be. But in this case, the objectives don't change. You can let the enemies get close to the school if you really want to. Sayaka? I'm glad you came for me. But stay out of the way. I don't believe this. Who else is gonna stand in the way of those things? Koji? Sayaka? Can you hear me? Some mecha beasts have appeared, and Great Mazinger has launched to intercept. Unfortunately, they divided into 2 groups, and one of them is heading your way. So hurry up. Mecha beasts? Damn. And damn you too, Dr. Hell. Wow, Koji. It's another 2 for the counter, and they're the same line, too. Sending mecha beasts at a time like this? Unfreaking forgivable. Let's go, Koji. So now we have Sayaka. Sayaka is lower level than Koji, with she's level 1. No, none of the abilities. Her only specials, like, her only saving grace currently that she has is she's a favorite unit. She has more SP than Koji, though. Same number of experience to the next level. After the A, that's the health, energy, mobility, and armor. After 80A's abilities. Repair equipment. Basically, this is a healing move. So Sayaka is a healer. Not a very good healer, if you ask me, but she's still a healer. So, in order to use repair equipment, you have to move your unit adjacent to the unit you wish to repair. Repair equipment is a post-movement ability. You can use it before or after moving, depending on whether or not you want to heal a unit that's right next to you, or you want to move a unit that's farther away. The problem I have with Aphrodite A is that Aphrodite A has crappy stats, crappy armor, which I'm normally okay with that, actually. I'm okay with crappy armor so long as the unit is designed to have crappy armor, i.e. it's good at evading. Now let's look at Aphrodite A's mobility. 70. If you were paying attention, you would know that Mazinger Z's mobility is 5 points higher. Mazinger Z is infinitely more tanky than Aphrodite A, and yet Mazinger Z can evade more, which is sort of my problem with Aphrodite A, is that it's a weakly armored unit, but it isn't designed to be a weakly armored unit. Sayaka, I'm sure is a pretty decent pilot, but I just don't use her because all of her units are total crap. So, like, yeah. And, like, then you look at its attacks, and it's got 3 of them. One of them isn't even one of them is technically just this attack, except different. That the letter C written in green in that green circle. That means it's a combo ability. It requires the special ability Combo. Combo, what it does is you pretty much all combo attacks sacrifice a bit of damage of the original attack in order to can deal damage to enemies in a line. The number of enemies in said line, they have to all be adjacent to one another in that line, though, so if you have a gap in the line, it doesn't count. Additionally, the level of your combo ability corresponds to the number of enemies to how long the line can be. At level 1, that line is 2, and it increases by 1 with each level. I don't know what the max level for that ability is. Not that it matters. After you get up to a certain point, you'll find that enemy units rarely group together in groups that are larger than 3 or 4. So, yeah. But, like, the weapon stats are total crap and Sayaka's are on Aphrodite 8 too, which is why I never use Aphrodite 8. But I'll use it for now. I'll continue using it until I'm forced, as long as I'm forced to use it, I will continue using it. The second that I can avoid it, I will stop. But, we're gonna do our first battle. So, post-movement means exactly what it says. It means you can use it after moving. Weapons that are not post-movement, you cannot use after tracking that. The, letter S in the circle means this weapon is a special weapon. In other words, it's a debuffing weapon. As you can see, Rust Hurricane, short range, special effect. And its effect is, enemy's armor, minus 30% for 1 turn. So it's a debuff weapon. It deals damage, and then it debuffs the enemy. Really nice when you have them, which you rarely do. I think, actually, to be perfectly honest, I think this is the only special effect weapon that I can remember getting the entire game. Well, sort of. But they're really annoying when the enemy has them, because 90% of the time, when an enemy has a special effect debuff, it's like almost always movement, and when they debuff movement, it basically means your unit is like moves 2 squares, which is really, really frustratingly annoying. It's not really hard to deal with unless they almost kill you in the same turn, but it's really annoying. Anyway, for future reference, I'm pretty much always going to be leaving battle animations on, but you can turn them off from here if you really want to. If I ever want to skip it, I'll either fast forward, which I probably won't do, just in case it causes lag in the recording. Or in this game, I believe this is just specific to this Super Robot Wars game, you can hit the B button and it will cancel out of the animation. Either way, I'm for the most part always gonna leave it on. A new enemy here is the Bata. I'm not gonna go over its stats, but it's it has like missiles and sort of a machine gun attack, and it's sort of your generic grunt enemy, early game grunt enemy. These enemies will get better stats as we go on, so I think I'm gonna stop in previous episodes, which for me would have been past episodes because this is future binary and not past binary. But in the next few episodes, I'll be scanning some enemies, and I think I'll scan them and show you the stats, and I'm gonna show you what they drop. I'm gonna avoid scanning like grunt units probably, unless all y'all in the audience really want me to. I will still be scanning the boss units though, because boss units or commander units. Because commander units almost always drop parts and/or modules, and it's nice to know what I can drop. I'll also probably try to avoid abusing the fact that I can save whenever I want. I know I use it like at least once, maybe twice. The one time that I know that I did it is when I got frustrated because I really, really wanted to kill the enemy commander unit, and then I didn't. And if I am going to abuse it, I'm for sure going to abuse it and not just say attack, and then if I succeed, not reset. I'll reset for sure, just to keep things fair, so that sometimes I'll just want to test to see how much damage an attack does against the boss. Yeah. Attack screen. So you can see here, we have fight and demo on. We also have raid out, action, and cover. Action is something you only deal with when the enemy attacks you, and it basically determines what action you take. The options are counter, defense, and evade. Counter lets you counter attack. Defense, I believe, halves the damage you take. And evade, I know it probably doubles the pilot's evasion stat or something. I know that it isn't strictly doubles or halves the enemy's hit rate or hit percentage, because it doesn't always half it. Sometimes it will, but it doesn't usually strictly half it, so I think it probably has to do with the pilot stat, because it couldn't be affecting the mech's stats, because sometimes the mech stats are just horrendous. But regardless. And then cover allows you to toggle the options for the support attack and support defense. For support defense, it really just means you can choose which unit attacks. For support attack, you can also choose the weapon that the other unit's attacking with. Something I like about this game is that it usually, two things will do is when an enemy attacks you, it usually will not choose a counterattack that will overkill the enemy. It'll kill the strongest attack that will kill or the weakest attack that will kill the enemy. Otherwise, it just chooses the attack that does the most damage. The other nice thing about it is it will never strictly set the default command when you're being attacked to a command that will kill you assuming the attack hits. Unless all the options that assume the attack hits will kill you, in which case it'll select evade in order to give you the best chance of not being hit. So that's nice. Unfortunately, for support attack, it's kind of stupid. And same thing with support defense. But what are you gonna do? But I've been talking and blabbering on for far too long, so let's just begin this attack animation. Part of the reason why I like having these on is because of the cool music, and there's also cool animations, and there's also sometimes some funny dialogue, so I'll just leave these on. I'm not going to voice act the dialogue here because it auto-scrolls, and I feel it auto-scrolls at a pretty good rate, so if you want to read it. I also might just end up sometimes be silent during these animations, but yeah. Oh, hey, Calamity, did you see that? Did you see what they were piloting? Yeah, they don't make any physical sense. So awesome, they almost look like soldiers. I'm more concerned about us at the moment. We've got to get going. But Calamity, they're trying their hardest to fight to protect us. Kyoko, are you for real? You know, maybe the reason they're attacking us in the first place is because, I don't know, those robots are here? I mean, why else would they be attacking? Maybe, but... Meanwhile... I'm still alive. Damn. I wonder what that thing that fell on the school. What the? It sounded like a machine. Because it made a machine effect. And that machine effect is usually used once the cockpit opens, so clearly someone opened the cockpit. Huh? A robot? So this is what crashed. I can't believe it. We let this thing crash. Now what are we gonna do? Well, the pursuit force was getting pretty close. We didn't really have much of a choice. There are people in there? Hello? Are you from the army? Why the hell did you just crash into my school? Just a little closer and you could have killed me. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't really do it. We didn't do it on purpose. I promise you. Hey, come on. Nobody died, right? No cause for concern if you ask me. 3 girls? What is this? Oh, hi, Kyle. You're gonna type something. Bloop. Awaiting bloop.